So, exactly who is the queen of the Real Housewives of Atlanta? We're going to discuss that in this video and a little bit of shady beef between Marlo and Kandi that's popping off on social media. Guys, it's your boy, DJ Richie Skye. We are back in the building after our crazy live that we just finished for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 4. If you missed it, definitely go back and check it out because we go all the way in. We had so much to discuss in that recap. So I want you guys to tap into that whenever you get a moment. But right now, we got to talk about some other stuff that's breaking off in the news. So, a lot of you guys may or may not know this, but last night, Kandi was a guest on Watch What Happens Live. And so, during a segment called Pay It Ain't So, Andy asked some shady questions for Kandi about some of her friends on the show's finances or business acumen. And so, when asked directly, what Kandi thought would be the success of Marlo's latest business venture, which was featured in Vogue, Le Archive, and featured on the show as well. Candy's response was, "Well, it depends on how she runs the business." If she said if it's just, she's trying to get these designs on her friends, then I don't know. But Andy was like, "Okay, girl, you got to answer the question. Okay, come on now. Come on. Give me a scale of 1 to 10. How likely are you to, that you think it will succeed on a scale of 1 to 10?" Okay. And so she answers and she says 2.5. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, Marlo ain't appreciate that. Okay. Marlo ain't appreciate that not one bit because she hopped on that Twitter and she said, and I got to shout out our friends over at Housewives of ATL on Instagram because that is the first place that I saw this when I finished my live. So I went on over to Twitter and I was like, "Oh, it's still there." Marlo says, "Bravo, Watch What Happens Live. Just like the 2.5% royalties you get from the hits you wrote 200 years ago with 20 other writers on the song, sis." Hashtag Real Housewives of Atlanta with the laughing emoji and the kissy face. Now, to be fair, I don't think this is any real level of beef, but more or less fun shade. And I thought, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it because I thought it was funny. She said 200 years ago, you. Let me tell y'all something. Them residual paychecks, they be still hitting though. Okay, they be still hitting because these people still be using those songs today, baby. Um, she said that you wrote with 20 other writers on the song, sis. Listen, those royalty checks will keep you paid though. So somebody asked, "Well, why you tag Bravo but not Kandi, Marlo?" with the laughing emoji. And then Marlo said, "Moving too fast at Kandi." I think Marlo went live after the episode last night as well, which I am so sorry that I missed. The live is still up there. I have to go check it out and see what her thoughts are. Marlo, Marlo makes me laugh. I enjoy Marlo on this show this season. She is funny. Like her little one-liners that she be saying to herself, like, shoot, I'm gonna stay single then. I am getting my life off of this season personally. I am enjoying it. So bring it on. I can't wait for episode 5. But now we got a more serious question to talk about. Okay. And this has the people fired up, baby. This right here got the people fired up. So I saw this morning. I think I saw it before I went to Good Day DC. And it's from Candy's latest speak on it, I'm assuming, I think, based on what I see here from the Candy Burris fan page. And the quote is basically that Todd said Kandi is the queen of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and the ladies tried to come for her throne. So when I saw this, my initial thoughts, let me give it to you, let me give you my initial thoughts, and that's why I wrote what I wrote in the comments right there. I said, I love Black love. Basically what she asked him was, how does it feel, or how do you feel when the women come after me on the show? And he says basically, well, you're the queen. He was like, so of course they're going to try to come for the throne. You've been on the show the longest. You've been able to make the most of this platform at this point. He was like, it's pretty much your show. So I knew that thing was gonna hit the net, baby. I knew it was gonna hit the net. So because I knew it was gonna hit the net, I was like, okay, let me just wait and see. But anyway, I thought to myself, I said, well, I said clearly, this is her husband speaking, you know, about his wife. And that's why I wrote I Love Black Love, because I felt like he was just standing 10 toes down, for his wife or whatever. And I don't fault him for that. That's what you're supposed to say, I think, as the husband. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like, it was going it was gonna make, it was gonna make the round. So the neighborhood talk picked it up as well. Okay. And they was like, neighbors, do y'all agree? If not, who is the queen? And so this became a very interesting topic of conversation. And I think it is an interesting topic of conversation because typically, and and listen, this is just for fun. Okay. Let me go ahead and state that. This is just for fun. We want to have this conversation because it does bring about a good question. People typically associate a franchise with a particular phase, whether you want to admit it or not. Okay. Now, I was watching Bethany Frankel on the Wendy Williams show, and she was talking about her Mount Rushmore of housewives. And she talked about hers being her, Lisa Vanderpump, Nene Leakes, and who else? Somebody else. Lord have mercy. Who else was it? I can't even remember. Um, Basically, at least the three of them. I definitely recall her saying, the three of them because of how long they've been around the franchise, what they've done with the franchise, their impact, uh, the impact their impact on pop culture as a result of them being on the franchise and what they've done with it, the depths, the highs, the lows of it. And again, sometimes some people being known as the face. Oh, she said Teresa Judice or whatever the last name is. And so I was thinking to myself, okay, so if you're thinking about an overall queen of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I would have to agree with Bethany when she said, you would think of Nene. That's really, I think, what you think of historically, right? And you would think of LVP, Lisa Vanderpump for Beverly Hills, Bethany for New York, Teresa for New Jersey. But now that there has been a shift in who's actually on these shows, the question then becomes, who is the real face of a particular show, right? Because Nene's no longer on the show, Bethany's no longer on the shows. So who becomes the face of the franchise? In my opinion, in Beverly Hills, Kyle would be the face of it, right? She would be. Just like they've made or kind of propped up Alexia to be the face of Miami. They've kind of put Giselle in the place of the face of Potomac. Even though fans may consider, Karen the fan favorite, but it's definitely, you can see that the network tends to, I think, favor Giselle as the face of that franchise. So then, who is the true queen of Atlanta? Well, let's just say this. They all queens, okay? And I think if you ask Kandi, she would say that it's an ensemble show. And I would agree with that. It is an ensemble show. I would say it's probably between Kenya and Kandi as the two people who would be the front runner slash faces of the shows. I can see why someone would say Kandi, because she's been on the show the longest. She has definitely made the most out of her time on the show. She has literally, she trends or goes viral a lot, and she continues to get spinoff after spinoff after spinoff. She's in the production world. Kandi is everywhere. She is everywhere. She literally is in this day and age as it relates to the franchise. She's going viral right now for that legs and hips and body from what, 2013. Like, it's all over the net. Like, so I just kind of feel like, in terms of the impact that the person is having, I can definitely see why one would say that. I am just being honest. I'm looking at the facts. Okay. I can also see why some would say a Kenya, because Kenya brings so much to the show, right? And she was on Ultimate Girls Trip. I definitely think if Nene was still in the mix, she would have been in there with Kenya instead of Cynthia. No shade to Cynthia. So it's really hard to say. And maybe it's just hard to choose. And maybe we don't honestly have to choose a queen of the show, a queen bee. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. I think that you have a trifecta of amazingness right here with these ladies, and they are all TV gold, and they've all brought a lot to the franchise. But y'all know how I do. I am gonna see the positive in the whole thing anyway, and give it to everybody. Although I do recognize that Kandi is literally, like I said, everywhere, and she is, I think, moving towards that Bethany Frankel status of, I'm making every opportunity that I have with this show into something else. And when she's done with it, I'm telling you, the woman is probably already set for life. But I feel like by the time she's finished, I think she will have done everything she wanted to do. But let me know again what you guys think in the comments down below. As I stated, if Nene was still on the show, I think it would be her. It just depends on what her state was while she was on the show, because again, we're Nene was there. I mean, Nene was is she took Housewives to the next level, and you gotta give her that credit. So it's interesting. I just thought it was an interesting conversation to have. Shout out to the Neighborhood Talk. Shout out to Kandi Burr's fan page. And shout out to Housewives of ATL as well. All links will be placed in the description down below. And I will catch you guys in the next video.